Hello, and a very warm welcome from the BTS Career Zone. I'm Natalie Dawes, and as ever, I am delighted to be bringing this podcast to you as part of our Careers Pathways series. Today, I am catching up with Jack Kennedy, the M&G Wealth Advice Academy's recruitment manager. The M&G Wealth Advice Academy is one of the BTS Career Zone featured companies, and today Jack is going to be giving us a bit of a lowdown on what to expect if you're considering applying to the Academy. So, Jack, tell me about what your role entails on the Academy.
Yeah, so I'm the Academy Recruitment Manager. I'm normally the first, or my colleagues are normally the first people that you see when you inquire into the M&G Academy. And my role is to, I think, really give any candidate a really good understanding of what this academy does for them, the support they give, the potential options they've got as becoming an advisor, and what their future would look like with M&G.
So, when somebody is thinking about applying to the Academy,
Yeah.
what does that process look like?
So they can inquire through a variety of different ways, either traditional ways through the website where they'll fill in an inquiry form and they'll be asked to send in a CV to us. They can contact us direct or through LinkedIn or indeed through yourselves at BTS. As soon as an inquiry comes through and we receive the CV, we'll contact them to book in normally about a 20-30 minute initial Teams meeting. It's really important for us that they really understand what this academy is about. Every academy is different, and it's important that they understand how this will work for them. I want them to be really clear on the good parts, the challenges. I want them to know what they're going into before they decide to join us.
Just having a really good insight into what the academy looks like, really. And it's interesting that you've made the points already that you have in the good bits,
Yeah.
and perhaps the more challenging bits. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, definitely. I think that we fundamentally believe that transitioning into a new role takes a bit of time. So our program is designed where people can carry on working, carry on earning, and then they can take their exams over a period of time. Now, we're quite fluid with that. It could be that you take a full 12 months to take sort of one exam every 2 months, or you could do it as quickly as possible. But whatever that period is, we think it's really important that you get to learn more about the culture of M&G, more about how to become an advisor, more about the challenges that you might face. Some of those challenges will be balancing work, life, family commitments, and studying. As you know very well, some of the content can be dry, and it's about making sure you're actively studying, making sure you're putting proper plans in place. And I think really sometimes the challenge as well is it's very hard at that stage to know exactly what this will look like for you going forward. You know, what does a day in the life look like for an advisor? What are the challenges they may face? And part of my job and part of my colleagues' job is to really give people that understanding of how to be successful. Not just successful as an advisor, but successful as potentially a business owner, successful as maybe being integrated into one of our firms, and just really getting that transition from I've never done this before to now I've got a really good understanding of what this looks like. I'm ready for it and I've planned accordingly. So we quite often talk about the challenges and we're very transparent in terms of, you know, this is not easy. Otherwise, everyone will be doing it. But with the right support and guidance and sometimes a bit of cheerleading, because quite often my job is to, when they're in a grip of a taxation exam, is to go, look, this is the point. This is why we're doing this. This is the ultimate goal. So it's important for us that the initial contact you have with any recruitment manager doesn't just stop at the recruitment part. It goes all the way through the process. I'm still very lucky to get to see people who are out advising clients and we meet up and we talk about what the next step is. My background is being a financial advisor. It's all I've really known. I've run my own business. I've developed my own business. And so if I can impart some of the mistakes I've made, but also some of the stuff that I've done well, and that helps people avoid those mistakes or be ready for those challenges, then I think that's what we can really add to the process whilst they're getting their exams.
That is a fantastic answer. The thing I really want to pick up on there
Yeah.
is you are a recruitment manager.
Yes.
The majority of people, if I said to them, I'm going to put you in touch with Jack as a recruitment manager, they
Yeah.
are going to think, and I would as well, which is where this thought process comes from.
Yeah.
that you're going to be talking to someone about the recruitment process for the M&G
Yes.
Academy. But what you've just said there is that support is very much a wraparound one, isn't it? It
It,
continues, and that no matter actually who I speak to within M&G, that's the same response that I get. So although
mm,
you have your sort of departments, if you like,
yeah,
it really does extend that support to throughout the process. And I think that's a really key thing, and not something that we talk about an awful lot when we're having discussions about the academy and that process.
yeah.
However, I
Mm-hmm.
do want to learn more about that recruitment process. So let's
Cool.
say a candidate comes to you, they're introduced to you via whatever means that may be. You've got that first step, we have that team's discussion and you talk to them about the process, what it's going to look like, warts and all of that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. What happens then? So let's say someone decides they do want to continue through the process. What does that look like?
Absolutely. So I think it's also important to mention that initial Teams call is a warts and all call, really. It's really about understanding what their plans are and what they're trying to achieve. But equally, I don't believe in phasing information into people. I think sometimes having two or three or four meetings to gradually get all the aspects doesn't help. So it's very transparent, it's very honest, it's very open. So in most cases, people have got a really good understanding as to what this is, and therefore that will help them take a step saying, this is the right place for me. Because that's all they really need to decide at this point. Is this academy going to support me? Do I like them culturally? Do they have a lot of aspects that are going to help me going forward? If the answer is yes, then we ask them to complete an application form. The application form is relatively straightforward. It's naturally a little bit about them, a little bit about their career and what they've done over the last sort of 5 or 6 years. But it's also about, again, helping them understand the sort of things that are going to be asked of them further down the line when they come to get authorised by the FCA. So we're sort of starting them getting used to understanding I need to show my fitness and propriety to make sure I'm the right person, and I can do this role. And we ask them to do a little statement about why they want to do this, because it's always very useful. And it also might solidify the reasons why not only do I want to do this career, but I want to do it here. And so we ask them to do a personal statement and complete an application form. Once that's back and that's been reviewed, we'll invite them to a 1 hour assessment, and that's conducted over Teams. Naturally, because we have lots of people from lots of different areas, we tend to do this over Teams initially. I personally believe that the assessment is partly for them to continue to assess us as much as it is us assessing them. It's designed to get the best out of people. This isn't an assessment where we're looking to trip people up and make things difficult. We want them to emphasize their understanding of this role. We want them to emphasize their understanding of what they're really trying to achieve through this and what this business looks like for them. So we start off with a bit more of a formal interview. It's normally about 5 or 6 questions that details around their motivations, their goals, what they expect to enjoy, what their fears are. So I think asking about what you're scared of is really important, because it's going to help them to maybe not completely alleviate that fear, but sort of get a better understanding. And we talk to them about if they've thought about how they would generate clients, how they would build their business. And we also talk to them how they plan to study whilst they're working at the same time. And have they thought about the plan that they might need to put in place? Have they got the support from their family? All those kind of things as well. We asked them to do a bit of pre-preparation work. And this is really, I think this is arguably the most important part. We asked them to do a bit of market research. It's to ask their friends and family, their social, their professional network about 3 questions. One of those questions is, I'm looking to maybe take this role and go into this. What do you think about it? The beauty of that question is quite often it gives affirmation that they're doing the right thing. But what their respondents tend to answer, they give really emotive, brilliant responses. I think you'll be great at this because you're trusting, you help people, you do this, you do that. That's wonderful for me to see as a recruitment manager, because I get a better understanding what people think of this individual. We ask them whether the people in their network have taken financial advice before, and if so, where, and if not, why not? The beauty of this question is all the reasons as to why maybe people don't take advice are the things they're going to face as an advisor. They're going to have people that say, I don't understand it. I think it's expensive. I don't have that. I don't know where to go. I don't think I qualify for financial advice. it's really important for any candidate to understand why people don't do something so they can work out how they make them the right person for those people going forward. So, and then the final question is, when I become a financial advisor, would you sit down with me? Now, that question isn't for us, it's for them. It's for them to have an understanding of this misinterpretation that sometimes your network need to be your clients. Your network don't need to be your clients. Your network are the people that open doors. So if you create 10 to 15 advocates for you that are going to follow you on this journey over 12 months, and then when you get training and come with you and then share with other people, my friend does this now and you should speak to them. That's what we're trying to create. And it's also the first opportunity for people just to start reaching out and start sort of spreading the word and start asking people questions. And so we ask them to do that, and we review that, their responses, and we get them to think about where this will develop going forward. And then finally, we take them through a role play. Now, obviously, everyone loves a role play. And whilst this role play is putting the candidate in the shoes of an advisor, it's not giving advice at this stage because that would be unfair. This is about their ability to ask questions, to be interested in people, to show empathy, to understand what the person is looking for and why, and to have a logical approach as to how they would take that call and what information they need to understand whether they can help the person and then book them in for another meeting. So the design of it is really about, I want them to show their personality. I want them to show that they care and they understand and they're interested in the person in front of them. Having an experience or knowledge, you're not giving any recommendations or any solutions or talking about attitude to risk. This is about people. This is about understanding how you interact with people and the questions that you ask, and whether you care about the person that's in front of you. So we take them through that process. If that meeting is successful, they have a final meeting with me. It's not scary, I promise. And this meeting is 20 to 30 minutes, and it's just talking about how to be successful. So it's about really understanding the key things to really drive this as a career. It is talking about those challenges. It's an opportunity for them to ask questions that maybe they've thought of in the back of their mind, and they've got a safe space where they can ask lots of questions. What I also want them to understand is the mechanics of how they would generate income, generate clients, and those kind of things. So everything is very transparent. If they understand how to be successful, it makes it easy for them to plan for the future. So we also talk them through a couple of documents that they'll work on as they're getting through their exams, that will just start to sort of concentrate their mind on how to generate business and be successful going forward. At the end of that process, we will make them an offer. And that will be an offer for the next intake to join us. And as I mentioned, some people will look to join us with no qualifications, partly qualified or fully qualified. So depending on where they're at will depend whether they join us at stage 1, which is the learning and exams and finishing off exams, or join us in stage 2 when they start their training course with our brilliant trainers, Kenny and Brian. So we'll discuss that, discuss the next steps, what happens, what documentation they need, and just get them fully prepared. They'll then get a formal email to offer them that place, and then they just need to respond to say, yes, I'm happy, and then we'll start taking them through the onboarding process. But as we said earlier, it doesn't really stop there. So I meet with people all the way through the stages and beyond, a constant opportunity for them to reach out to us, to ask us questions, to tell us what they're worried about, and hopefully we can help them with those fears and concerns going forward. The beauty about our academy is because we're not just doing this for growth purposes, we're not just bringing hundreds and hundreds of people through and hoping that they succeed, is we get to know people really, really well. And we give them the ability to get close to us and understand what we're trying to achieve and ask lots of questions, no matter what stage they're at.
Thank you, Jack. I think I want to join this academy. I've said it earlier on, but I genuinely feel from all of you, and it doesn't matter who I speak to, it's almost like a bit of a family sort of scenario, isn't it? You know, everyone and your team know each other really, really well. But the fact that that translates into academy trainees as well, I think is just fantastic. Thank you for such a detailed kind of overview. No, that's good. That's exactly what we're after here. Let's explore something else for a minute. Am I right in thinking that you don't accept everybody onto this academy?
Yes, it's you are correct. We don't accept everybody. It's sometimes the reason why we don't accept everyone is because they're not quite ready, or they're not quite understand what this role entails. Um, we have a duty of care to everyone that comes through our academy. We have to make sure that they understand what this will entail, that they do understand the challenges, but they do understand the support that they're going to get as well. Quite often, if people don't come through to our academy, it might be because they don't exactly understand the role. We are very comfortable with the fact that we aren't an academy for everybody. We can't be. We just can't be. We are comfortable with the fact that culturally we kind of choose not to provide loans or funding for people, because we don't want people in debt to us before they've even seen a client. What if they don't like it? It's a danger, it's a risk. Because of that, there are some prerequisites that you're going to have to have. You're going to have to plan for the future. You're going to have some savings behind you, to make sure that those first few months you're not getting worked up and worried about, I've got this client that's got to take a policy because I need to, need some income. So we understand that not that's not going to suit everybody, and people do like the other academies and the funding that can happen elsewhere, and that's fine. We're very happy with that. We try and offset that by giving you opportunity. We believe that giving you the right opportunity through leads will give you the ability to generate your own income and keep that income, rather than having to pay us or having a potential debt behind you. Because of that, we don't take everyone through, but mainly we're quite a sort of a broad academy where we are interested in the individual. There is sometimes a misconception that you have to have some kind of financial experience behind you. You have to work in financial services to do this, and you just don't. We've got some amazing people on the academy that have come from all sorts of different backgrounds, because the people are right. So all of our assessment process, our meetings with you, and everything is around understanding you as an individual and what transitional skills you've got through whatever you've done in the past that can form into this. It is about behaviorally. Are you looking to build something, take control of your career and your life? This academy won't necessarily suit everybody, and that's fine. It won't suit people that want an employed type of role, because this isn't an employed role, it's a self-employed role. Even if you end up working in one of our firms, it will still probably be self-employed. So you've got to be comfortable that that is what you're looking to do going forward. But we will always give feedback as to why you haven't been successful. It isn't just a straight, not for us, thank you very much, or we've hit a quota or wherever it might be. We always say, when we take people through the assessment, there's normally three potential outcomes. It's either, yes, accept, please join us. No, not quite right, go away, come and have another go. And these are the things you might need to concentrate on. And these are the things you might want to work on. Or yes, not quite right for us at the moment. But I think we often have an open door policy where I've had lots of people that I saw maybe 2 years ago that have come back and had another go and been brilliant. So it's a never say never, but it might be a not quite right now is more of the answer that people tend to get.
That's really interesting with that sort of an open door policy as you talk about there. And I think the recruitment process in itself, even if it doesn't work out for somebody, it's a real learning curve, isn't it? An
Really is,
opportunity to find out so much about yourself,
definitely.
and whether this will work or not for
Yeah.
one, but as an individual as well. So let's talk more about
Mm.
individuals. And you've mentioned words like behaviors, skills, stuff like that. So talk to me
Mm.
about the type of individual, ideally, that the academy is looking for.
I think it probably needs to be someone who is looking to take control. I think, as I said, looking to take control of their career, of their future, of maybe what they provide for their family and themselves. I think having a desire to be your own person is very, very important. I think motivation is important. Now, when I first joined, first started working, motivation was all about, well, what car are you going to drive and what you're going to earn, and that's not motivation. I'm not going to be interested in someone where I want to earn this, I want to earn that. That's your personal. That's absolutely fine. But I think you've got to have a desire to want to help people, because we're not interested in product sellers. We're not interested in people that are going to, just think about how much they've got coming in or funds under management. It's really about how do we help people? Everything that flows through M&G, and I've worked many different places, but everything that comes through M&G is about making sure the client is at the heart of everything we do. So that's got to be at the forefront of what people are trying to achieve, but actually mean it through their actions and their behaviours. I think you've got to have a bit of resilience. I think, like we said, in the grip of something, these exams inside out, and some of them you can think, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? And having a bit of resilience, being very honest, being reflective, being able to say, am I putting in enough? Am I doing enough? Am I prepared enough? Am I ready? And not being shy to being vulnerable to ask for help. I'm a 50-year-old man, and I think probably only in the last 5 years have I kind of realized about asking for help and saying when you're struggling. And I think that's a really important part, to kind of always reflect on, am I okay? Am I doing the right thing? Is there some outside noise that is stopping me? And making sure that you're able to reach out to Kenny or Brian or me or any of the team and go, I'm struggling. I need a bit of support, because it's why these academies are here. Everyone can go off and get the exams. They can self-fund. They can self teach through the help of BTS and other people. Having a team behind you, having a community. One of the things I'm really proud of here is that whether you're in the academy at stage 1, 2, 3, 4, or beyond, everyone's willing to talk and help and give guidance. There isn't that competitive element. Well, I'm not talking to them because they're in my area or whatever it might be, which I think is wonderful. So creating a community, I want every single academy candidate to have at least 4 or 5 different people or different areas that they can reach out to and go, what do you think? What do you do? What did you do when you were in this situation? I think that's really important.
Thank you, Jack. Really interesting. Again, consistency is the key here, because I spoke to Stephen Christie and Alan Ferrell, and one of the things they brought up was this making yourself vulnerable position and not being afraid to ask for help. But again, not something that we often talk about, and actually is a bit of a stigma with it, I think. So the fact that you guys are being so open about this is really, really refreshing. Okay, thinking about a slightly different angle now. How can somebody prepare for the M&G Advice recruitment process?
I think having a very good understanding of what the M&G Academy is very important. So going on the website, watching the videos of some of the candidates that have been through, getting a good understanding of what the stages look like is very important. I think knowing what a financial advisor does as well is very important. I think getting an understanding of the kind of questions that you would ask clients and what a fact find looks like. Now, I purposely don't give a lot of information prior to the recruitment process. And we tell them what it's going to look like, what the timings are, and so on and so forth. But I want people to come across naturally. When I used to give them the role play description beforehand, I just got robotic fact find meetings. I didn't see any of the individual. The beauty of the role play, for example, is you get the brief, you get 5 minutes to prepare. Everything they do is just in the moment, and I get to see them as they are. I'd like to keep that, and I think that's the right thing to do. There is the pre-preparation work that gives you a really good understanding of what the market and what the opportunity is out there, which I think is really good. But again, I think the only preparation I would say is important is your own self-reflection. Why are you doing this? Why is it important? And what are you looking to achieve, and why you're looking to achieve it? That's what we're trying to entice out of you during that recruitment process. It also gives me the opportunity to explain more about the support we're going to give you and how we're going to help you, and all the things that are all the concerns you might have about changing a career or having a new career or starting something. We want to get out in that interview process and get an understanding of the things that you're worried about. That will help me alleviate some of those, or at least show you how we're going to guide you and support you into getting over those things. So don't over prepare, be yourself. Show me what it is why you really want this, why this career, regardless of whether it's M&G or wherever it is, why is this career? Why do you want to be an advisor? What is it going to do for you going forward? Um, that's what maybe more internal reflection is probably the best preparation for our recruitment process.
Fantastic. Thank you. One final question. It's your fault because of what you just said there. Why
Okay,
M&G?
why M&G? Well, I have worked in quite a lot of places as a financial advisor. The thing I really like about M&G is culturally, the cultural fit that we want people to succeed and we want to support them. But that comes from the actual firm. So I think culturally, putting the client at the center of everything that we do, having a duty of care to our clients to make sure we're doing the right thing, um, and the support that we give, whereby you're our client, so we have a duty of care to you, means that we've got the right. It's a good place to be because we've got the right culture behind us. I think having been an advisor with no clients, I think having 100 clients over the first 2 years is really important. It gives you that starting block. They're never going to be the be all and end all, but they give you that ability to just get off the blocks and get started and give advice and get used to the systems and the processes before you want to go out and see the people that you want to see. I think that's really, really important. I think when clients are looking for advisors, they want to have the ability to, first and foremost, they're going to want to deal with you. So getting you prepared to know what a good advisor should be is very important. They want you to be able to explain how you're going to be charged and make that clear, and you can show your worth and show the value that you're going to offer. And they'd like investment choice. They'd like the ability to choose, and you have the ability to, for all the tools, to have the tools to give the right advice at the right time. And I think we do all of that. I think our proposition is good. I think that our charging is clear and good value. And I think culturally we'll set you up to be doing the right thing for the clients at the right time and build that relationship going forward.
Oh, I just love that and completely agree. Thank you for being so detailed, Jack, whilst also remaining, and I'll reference actually words that you used right at the start of this brilliant session: transparent, honest, and open, which are exactly the sort of things that we need to build a brilliant culture within this industry. Thanks so much, Jack. If you'd like to hear more about the Academy, you can visit the M&G Wealth Advice Academy featured company page on the BTS Career Zone. You can, of course, get in touch with us anytime at BTS. We are always so very happy to help. I hope you've enjoyed this session as much as I have. Thanks so much for listening.